We
Did
really
you
got to
not
fix
hear
that
that?
audio. Oh my goodness.
Was it bad?
It's always bad. I just never bother to fix it, which we should. But
Well, do you
it
want to go
adds
ahead
to
with,
our what?
do you want to still go ahead with it?
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, we have been. It's just I
Oh,
feel bad and I've been lazy, so I really need to fix that. I'm so sorry, you guys. Anyway, I'm Shivani
I'm Miranda.
and we are far from normal.
Yes.
Woo. Would you like to introduce the topic?
Sure. This is episode 43, I believe. And it is another history month. What?
Sorry, it's 33. I just
I thought it was 43.
33.
Oops. Sorry. It's another history month, so we're gonna try for some feminist type episodes. I don't know if we'll do it every week, but we're gonna do some. So something that I thought would be kind of interesting and really fun and like a chill feminist type topic is women in music. Obviously, me and Shivani are both into music type stuff, as we've talked about in many different episodes. And so we thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about the topic. I can just jump right in and mention something. Sound
Yeah,
good?
go for it.
Okay, so there are a lot of stereotypes about women in the pop culture music industry. I can list a few. Shivani, you could list a few, however we want to do it. Some of them, I mean, I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, as you guys know, and she was very stereotyped for writing love songs and, um, like her red lipstick. You have to have an image. You have to be pretty. Those are very like women are. If they talk about like boys, they're like only talk. They like are deemed as only talking about boys, and if they talk about themselves in a positive way, they're looked down on. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Thoughts?
yeah, I have totally observed like a lot of the same things, like double standards, and it happens with like a lot of things. And it's just like how we look, like body standards. Like
Yeah.
like if you're a little on like the thicker side, they want you to be skinnier, but if you're on the skinnier side, they want you to be thicker. And there's like no like right answer. And it's just like you're always fighting to, be something that you're not. And it's not about acceptance, it's about like always, you know, going for I'm losing words, but
Fine.
it's just yeah, it's not right. It's not right. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know the two sisters, the two black girl sisters that are singers? And they're really pretty.
Chloe and
Yes.
Haley. Is that Haley?
Yes.
Hallie? I forgot. I That's so weird. I was just watching a video about them like earlier today.
Mhm.
That's so funny.
We were
Okay, go
talking
ahead.
about them in one of my organizations I'm in on at Butler, and basically like people are like trashing on one of the sisters because she like is starting to dress like in more like provocative ways, and they're like trashing on her because she's 21 and I guess that's too young to be dressing that way. Except
There's like
like what
12-year-olds dressing like that. They have no right to be judging her. Oh my
well, like
goodness.
also in the industry as a woman, you have to like dress in a provocative way or at least be like really freaking pretty. Like
Yeah.
women are expected to, and it gets them attention and it gets them like media and like I don't know. It makes me upset because it's literally like you said earlier, it's a double standard. Like you can't get mad at women for dressing attractive and then also get mad at them for not dressing attractive. Like Billie Eilish gets hated on for wearing baggy clothes, but then when Billie Eilish like takes off her baggy clothes and like shows her shoulder, like she's a slut. Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, I remember like kind of like looking in on like the Billie Eilish like news when that was going down and like people there was like such a huge discussion about it when it shouldn't have been a discussion in the first place. Like it's her body, she can do whatever she wants with it. Like you shouldn't have an opinion on what she does with her body and how she decides to express herself in whatever ways. And like they made a huge deal out of it. Like I think she was she a minor at the time? Like that shouldn't
yeah.
have been a discussion in the first place. And like it's just crazy to me because like I thought we were starting to make progress, and then like when you get older and you start like going out into the real world and like exposing you get exposed to stuff on social media, you realize that we haven't made
No.
much progress at all.
We haven't made much
And
progress. We just say we have. Like
I
it's like with the
know,
racism thing. Like people are like, I'm not racist, but
right?
there's still a lot of things. Like I'm not sexist, but you say
Yeah.
things that are misogynistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes me so sad because I was like, I have hope. I have hope for like, a better future. And then someone does something stupid and I'm like, oh, why? Like we've been over this how many times?
I know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and also like I think I mentioned how like women like the things that you have to sing about, like there's a double standard with that. Like if you sing about boys, like you're like crazy, like not men, you're men crazy. You're like a
Boy
what's the
crazy sort of
boy
thing. Yeah.
crazy? Thank you.
Yeah.
Words, guys. Like if you sing about boys, you're boy crazy. If you sing about girls, you're like weird because you're a girl singing about girls and you're not allowed to be lesbian. That's no. And if you sing about yourself like in a prideful way, you're like disgusting or like you're too proud. Like women rappers. A lot of women rappers are like, I'm a badass bitch, I'm making money, yeah, like those kind of things. And people are like, ew, women can't rap. They're not allowed to. Like only men can rap and you're not allowed to talk positive about yourself. Um,
Right. Right. Were you kind of like looking in on like the whole debate about like Cardi B's like WAP and like whether that was like a
oh,
feminist thing or not? What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't listened to the song personally. I don't like songs about super sexual things, but it's also pretty badass for her to do it. Um, so like, I don't think it's gotten more negative attention than like blurred lines, which is straight up about rape. Um, so like there's definitely a double standard there because guys sing about sex all the time. So she should be allowed to. But I have no interest in listening to it.
Okay, okay. I was just like curious, like whether you think it's more on like there's like it's kind of like a spectrum, like whether you think it's like more on the like the empowerment end or more of like putting women like objectifying women. But like I
I
don't know,
haven't
can you
listened to
do
the
you think you
song.
can objectify women if you're a woman yourself?
Yes.
Like okay, okay, just curious. I don't know.
What
It's
do you
like
think? What are your thoughts?
I mean I think you can, but like it's just like I don't know. I don't know. It's just like it doesn't like make sense in my head just because if you're a woman, it just like doesn't make sense why you would put yourself down like that. You must have gone through like some major trauma to like
I've never
put
really
yourself
listened to
another.
the song. What else is she? I mean, obviously, I know some of the things. So, what does she say that's objectifying women? I haven't listened to it.
I mean, she obviously talks about like like sex and like
Right.
hitting that. I can't even explain it because it's like it's really explicit and like I don't listen to it all the time
Is
so I
it
don't
like
know the
talking about
words.
herself as being like a toy?
Um,
Like,
no, I mean yes, I don't know. I'd have to like look up the lyrics to tell you, but like oof, how do I? It's just like she's. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's necessarily like objectifying herself or other women. It's like she wants it, so like it's not necessarily
yeah.
like she wants this sort of attention, and it's she's doing it on her own terms.
So it's like sex positive.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I would. That's how I interpreted it. But like a lot of people were like, I don't know. It seems like you're kind of pushing the whole like message of like objectifying women because
Okay.
that's what men sing about, and then you're just pushing that like message forward. But
Okay. I guess
uh,
I could get that, but I also think it's kind of empowering because like
yeah,
you know how like horror has been like reclaimed by women kind of like
yeah,
where they
and
call each
like
other
yeah,
like whores like love you or like those kind of things. So
I feel
like
like that kind of works with like bitch.
yeah,
It's like yeah, because like that used to be like super like derogatory, but now we almost use it as like a term of
right.
endearment sometimes.
So like
But
if she's I could see it being like as a reclaiming thing. Like if you're reclaiming like sex positive women, like that's kind of cool. I don't know, but I haven't listened to the song, so
yeah. Honestly, I like personally think there should be a little more of that. Maybe not so like like more of just like women embracing like their femininity and
Yeah.
sexuality. And like I feel like there is some of that, but like they almost do it through like a men's lens, if that makes any sense.
Interesting.
Like at least they're like I feel like somebody behind the scenes is pushing them to do it in a certain way
Oh,
that will get more attention.
that's
But
fair.
like I don't know if they're doing it like out of their own like authentic
Right.
self-expression, which there are like that like artists that are women who express themselves authentically and like just their sexuality and like their
Yeah.
femininity and like in the most authentic way possible. And that is not super mainstream, but it does exist. It does exist. And
Right.
it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I've seen like
Yeah.
it's just so nice. And it's like so refreshing to see that just people being themselves and super like, self-love and acceptance and just being not afraid to talk about things
Yeah.
that were considered taboo at some point.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
a lot of like that makes a good point. Like a lot of women don't get to produce their own music and don't get to make their own decisions. And I mean that's true for a lot of men who are in the industry as well.
Mm,
But a a lot of the times there's like someone, a producer or a manager or someone deciding what you wear and what you sing about and how your videos look. Um,
mm,
so there is probably like a little bit of a male control. I mean, obviously there are women producers out there, but a lot of
mhm.
the ones I know about are men.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, it is hard to come by like women producers. And I'm just thinking of K-pop because I know that really well, but like that happens a lot of time within like girl groups. Like usually
Mhm.
men are the ones that are controlling like how these girls or women um like dress themselves and like tells them like how to dress and maybe the shorts are like a little bit too short and they're uncomfortable, but they're like we're gonna get more attention if you wear this, so like you're gonna have
Right.
to wear this, and like they really don't have a say
Yeah.
over like how they dress, and it's just awful. But yeah, mm, it's awful.
I feel like there's a lot of stories about that. And I don't know specific instances, but I'm sure that's a very common theme
Yeah.
of like the male producer or parent or manager like telling people what to do, the
Hmm.
women what to do and what to wear and how to dress.
Yeah, and some of
Um,
them are like minors, which is why I said girls earlier, and it's just like crazy. But sorry, go ahead. I like totally cut you off.
no, I was done.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, okay.
Finish.
Um, that's all I had.
Oh, wow, nice. I I've been seeing a lot of like free Britney stuff on
Oh,
social media, especially from other podcasters. So I
yeah.
watched like the documentary 2 days ago.
I didn't know she had a documentary. I should
It's
check that
not
out.
hers. She didn't do it,
Oh.
but it's the Free Britney documentary thing through New York Times that made like I mean obviously there was already a movement, but it made it like spur up more. Um
Mm.
I don't know. Do you know everything that everyone's talking about?
Not really. I mean, I remember like checking it out like a couple months ago. Like I remember like she posted this like on Instagram. There were like people saying like wear yellow if like you need help. And then like the next day like she posted something where she was like wearing yellow. And then people
Seriously?
were freaking out about it. And I was like, I have no idea what to think about this. Like I mean, I don't follow Britney Spears that much, but that was like
Me
really
neither.
interesting.
Yeah.
So,
There's just like basically the whole thing is like the dad and like a few other people kind of have like um there's this like concept I can't think of what it is. It's like conserve something like it's not conservative because that's a political party, but it's conserve something. And it's like the concept of like usually like the elderly when they can't make decisions for themselves have someone in charge of them,
mm,
but Britney Spears is not elderly. Um, and basically her dad and like the bank, I think now, like can control all her money and decide what shows she plays at and all these things. So like the whole thing is like people think that her dad has a toxic control of things, toxic Britney Spears, okay, control of things, and that like she doesn't have a right to do what she wants. Which is
mhm.
it was a very
Yeah.
interesting documentary. Yeah,
Yeah. I vaguely remember reading about that, and it just
yeah,
like blew my mind, like how someone could be controlling her when she's like had so much success and like is
right.
fully capable of like taking charge of her own life,
Yeah,
and how like she has a family member just controlling everything she
right.
does,
And it's
which
also
is
part of like the feminism thing. Like I feel like I don't know, maybe because she's a woman Like
Mm.
they she's perceived as weaker and easier to take control over, and also like people judged her for so many things because she was a woman, like the way she dressed, the way she chose to like dance and all these things at her shows, and the
Yeah.
how she had a baby when she was younger, and like the relationships she was in, and how she like in the documentary they said like she shaved her head because she was like always attacked with paparazzi, and she thought if she like wasn't, I don't know, like even though she's gorgeous with her shaved head, like wasn't as pretty or didn't have as long of hair, like she wouldn't be like obsessed over as much, which was really sad.
Yeah. No, it is really sad. It's just like it kind of goes back to like the whole double standards thing. It's just like no matter what she does, people are always gonna have an opinion, and
Right.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's so awful. Um. Oh,
I don't
sorry.
want to turn this into like a feminazi like type like, and men have it better and they suck, but like
Oh.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say something and I hope it doesn't come across that way. But like women are expected to be prettier and all these things in the industry. And I feel like men don't have those expectations. Like
Mhm.
men don't have to be as attractive. Men can be like rappers more. Like people expect men rappers, not female rappers, and like sing songs about disgusting stuff, not get over analyzed. Like I don't know. It like they can be talented and not have to have 600 other qualities besides their talent that makes them famous.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think in like some very like valid sense, in a very valid sense, that the men do in some ways have it easier than women, at
Mhm.
least for like certain aspects. Obviously, men have issues too, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they get discriminated in in certain situations just as
Right.
much as women do in some senses. So I don't want to, yeah,
There's
not
like
make that
the
enough.
like we
Yeah.
talked about last week with the racism thing. There's like prejudice against men, but not necessarily systemic sexism.
Right. Yeah, because it's like almost like an entirely different like category too. Because then they like they have it much harder because they're also a person of color and then they're also a woman, and that just is not a good combination in terms of like the society that we live in.
Mhm.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I yeah. Mhm. I lost my train of thought, so you can
Okay.
continue.
It's really cool. Um, this isn't really pop culture anymore. So like if you have something else pop culture to add on, feel free to stop me. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm gonna jump into like professional music because we talked about this in choir the other day, and honestly, I might have talked about it on the podcast already. Not sure, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. So like women in professional music who like uh not choreograph the music, the people who write the music. Help me.
Composer.
Thank you. The composer. Like women composers are encouraged to put their initials
Mm.
because people are more likely to buy from male composers and give them like respect and those kind of
Mhm.
things. We talked about this in choir because there was a piece that we purchased that was by a female composer who was encouraged to just do her initials. You looked
Nice.
like you had a thought to add.
No, it just reminded me of like J.K. Rowling, because
Oh,
she did
yeah,
that because I think it was like her editor or publisher or something
yeah,
said use your initials so like more people are likely to pick it up.
yeah.
Go ahead, that's it.
There's a lot of media like that. Like women are encouraged to put their initials
Right.
because male stuff is like deemed on higher levels for no reason. Um, so
Hmm.
that. Also, I feel like this might not even be accurate, but I know like in my high school and like my junior high, like I was in treble choirs a lot, which are like for people who don't know, like choirs where it's all women. Um, and like treble choirs, I feel like sang a lot more about love. Like a lot of the pieces were written by men about women like wanting to be a rose or give a rose to a guy. And then like the songs in like mixed choir were about like mashed potatoes or like going to
Oh
war.
no.
Uh and just like women's songs were all flowery and like happy and
Yeah.
pretty, and
Were they?
the mixed songs were like just generic things that like
Mhm.
had some messages, you know.
Yeah. Were they songs based in like? Were they contemporary songs or were they like more? historical sort
Both.
of. Okay.
I think. Hmm, yeah, I think both.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's interesting because I feel like the contemporary songs would be a little more, less
I
flowery,
guess not.
and
When you say contemporary, yeah, I think we had a song called "The Rose," which was about like wishing you were a rose so that you could like sit by someone's window that you had a crush on, and that was like from the 1900s. So
okay, okay.
contemporary-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like the historical context would like it would make more sense because like back then,
Right.
women's rights were were not quite as developed. So
Yeah. Although
um,
like a century esque, maybe even further before like colonization. I don't really know the centuries like
you're good, you're
specifically.
good.
I know there were centuries like a little further back that like women were deemed as like the powerful ones and like the ones that you would go to if you needed advice and like the badasses and like goddesses, and now like it just went away.
Yeah, no, I think in very, very like early times, like there, and especially in like different cultures, there are like instances where like women are looked to as like the healers and like very wise, and like
Yeah.
you go to them for like help, and like I can go back to like really ancient civilizations. This is this is just like based on like research and like spirituality and stuff like that. So like there's not
Yeah.
too much research on it, but like I think it's really like interesting. So I've like looked into it. So
Devani
it's
loves her
ancient.
spirituality.
I haven't talked about it in like so many episodes, and I really want to like delve into it with someone who like knows more than me. Um, anyway, ancient civilization called, I think it was Lemuria, and
What is
basically it
it?
was kind of Lemuria,
Okay.
Lemuria, and basically it was like a matriarchy. So like the whole thing was switched around, and basically the women were the ones in power,
Ooh.
and they put men down actually. So like, and I guess they talk about like how there's cycles of like civilization. So because we've had like a matriarchy in the past, it kind of did like a 180, and now we have a patriarchy. And
Interesting.
so in the ways
Neither of
that
them are really good.
no, yeah, for sure, no, yeah, a matriarchy can be just as violent in a different in a different sense, because it's more about like femininity. So like their violence comes out in different ways than it does as in the patriarchy. I have to look into that a little bit more, but maybe we can do
That'd
like
be a
another
cool
episode on
thing.
that.
Maybe we could, yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd have to look into it because I watched this video like so long ago, so it's like kind of blurred in my head. But uh yeah, so it was just it reminded me of that, and it was just really it's really interesting to see how like there are different cycles within like our ancient past, and how we are constantly fighting for equity or equality within between like genders and sexes,
Yeah.
and how we express like our divine femininity or divine masculinity. And I think that's really worth like delving into, because like how like there's like men who are like put down because they have feminine traits, or women who are put
Yes.
down because they have masculine traits. And I
Hmm.
think we have feminine and masculine like aspects within all of us, and it's just you can choose
Yeah.
whatever
Not
how
gonna
you want to
lie, this
express
is
that.
gonna have to be a whole episode, but I kind of think gender is a societal construct.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. That's
We'd
a
have to talk,
no-brainer.
we'd have to
Yes.
go into it more for a different episode just so we can like
Yes.
talk about why and stuff. But
Yeah, it's basically like race. I mean, that's a whole social construct. So is
yeah.
gender. Like you were assigned a gender like at your birth, and like you had no say in it. Like I don't know who decided that, but like blue for boys, pink for girls, like why? Like they're
Uh,
just colors.
uh,
Yeah, it's a whole social construct, and we have just started trying to like deconstruct that now, but we have so much time before we actually like completely get rid of that
yeah.
entire concept, because it's so like ingrained into our society, kind of
Mhm.
like what all of our past episodes have been talking about. um yeah, no, it's crazy. And yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Sorry, I'm writing stuff in our notes because I was
Yeah, I
like, this
can see
is
it. I can
cool
see
for our future episode.
it.
Um, yeah, no, sorry, I was writing on notes.
No, you're totally cool. If you're comfortable, I mean, do you have any like experiences with like people with like, sexist experiences that you think?
Oh, okay. I do want to kind of do an episode just about like societal standards and
Yeah,
like internalized sexism and stuff, but I'll like touch on like brief things.
get it.
But I have to think. um, I don't want to give away too much yet. Hmm,
Hmm.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Wait.
I can
Okay.
talk about how like in choir and like musical theater,
Hmm.
um, men had a lot more opportunities because there were less of them, and women it was very competitive and we were kind of pinned against each other. Um, like yeah, all the women were pinned against each other. We like wanted to be leads, and then if you were a lead, you got the prettier dress and all that stuff. And like that's a very very common theme in society. Like women are kind of trained to compete instead of raise each other up.
Yeah.
Um, which I guess plays into the music industry, like we are talking about.
Hmm.
Like you have like the Katy Perry versus Taylor Swift drama, and like Kardashians, and even though I don't really value them, but I'm sure they're part of it is just competition. Um, society has like trained us to like because it's so much harder to be a woman. Like we feel like we have to compete in order to get an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, oh, where was I gonna go with this? Yeah, I totally agree. And it's just like I don't think I've like actually like thought about it like in that much depth, but yeah, we kind of are like put against like the way society's set up. We are kind of put against each other because of just how society is. Like, there's yeah, I agree with like the whole arts and like women in arts and like having to compete with each other in the arts because correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think arts is like mostly like more women are in the arts. And it's
I
like
think so. And I
yeah.
think that's because of gender stereotypes. But yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really sad because like we should be like working together, but then like there are certain like barriers in place that make it hard to want to work together if you're like trying to get to the top and you just can't
what's the
push.
thing? Like push through the floor or the elevator or the thing. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to like push through the whatever. I don't know it.
I kind of know what you're talking about. I don't know the phrase for it, but
Okay. But I was just thinking like you have to like in order to get high enough to push through the barrier, like you have to step on the shoulders of the other women.
that's a good visual. I don't know what that's called, but yeah, it's a good visual.
What is it? I'm gonna Google it while you make talk.
uh, Not good at this. Okay. Um yeah, we talked about. Oh, we didn't talk
Glass
about
ceiling. It's the glass ceiling. You gotta push
glass.
that glass ceiling. In order to push through the glass ceiling, you gotta step on the shoulders of the other women instead of like pick each other up.
Mm, it's a good
I'm
visual.
gonna draw that, and that's gonna be my post.
You're gonna draw it.
I'm gonna
I can't wait
draw
to
it.
see
I'm
it.
gonna
Can't wait to
draw
see
women
it.
stepping on each other to get up the ceiling, and then I'm gonna compare it to women carrying each other and
Mhm.
pulling each other up with ropes.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you think we've made any progress? Like, do you think we've
Yeah,
started to like? Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of, at least a lot of people that I know are like very like women supporting women. Yes, women are queens. We love each other. And
Yeah.
like also we've obviously made progress with like rights and
Yeah.
voting. And I mean, the wage gap does still exist, contrary to some opinions, but the wage gap has gotten better.
Yeah.
Um, and women are allowed to wear pants now, so that's important.
True. Very true. Me too. I agree. I agree. I think we definitely have made a lot of progress and like looking back and like
Mhm.
history and just like
Yeah,
how we gained rights and how we've really just like raised each other up and are becoming more vocal about our issues. And it's definitely something we need more. And as much, I mean, we do have a lot of movements going on right now, but we definitely should keep it going, keep
yeah.
raising each other up. And yeah, we basically are out of time.
Dang,
But
that was fun.
we have so many ideas for like future
We do.
episodes, and this
I
was basically giving you guys insight into what we're gonna get into. So like, be excited.
a very introductory, all over the place
Yes.
episode.
We're gonna leave it as it was, yeah, super all over the place, and yeah, we acknowledge that it was really all over the place. But this is the introduction. We're gonna get into it. It's gonna be super fun. Do you have any ending comments?
It's not even about our episode, really, because it was just one of the pieces of our episode. But
Okay.
how far from normal is the matriarchy?
Ooh,
That's kind of interesting. I just thought that was a
very
cool
far. But like that is a cool concept. That is a very cool
concept.
concept, and I think that's all. There's a lot to delve into in there because like I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that's a cool thought to end
You're
on.
all over the place,
I
Shivani.
know, I know. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can email us at farfromnormalpodcast2020@gmail.com. We have an Instagram at farfromnormalpodcast, a Google Forms in the Instagram. We post every day, so keep up with that. And we hope to see you in the next episode. And be excited because we're gonna have so much content for you guys and super like fun things to talk about. And I'm excited for this. So, yeah. Hope you have a great day.
We
We
love
love
you
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Did you say the Instagram and the Google form and the email already?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
All over the place. Love it.
Mhm.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.